You guys, just ran 3 miles. I'm actually not quite done with the workout yet, but I decided to recap early today because in another few minutes the light will be a lot worse for shooting. I noticed that this sunset is pretty much in the same spot where the moon was when I woke up this morning to try to look at it, and I couldn't see it because of clouds, so that feels like a metaphor for me not being able to complete my practice because of the sun going down. So I tried to do a 10-minute pace today, and even that has been pretty difficult. So I've gained kind of a new perspective on what it's like for people who, have been using this pace for years. When I was younger and I would run 6-minute miles, and I would hear people talking about running 9.5, 10-minute, 11-minute miles. I didn't really have enough sympathy for what they were experiencing. It really doesn't feel all that different from what I was doing before. It still feels like I'm basically pushing about as hard as I was. I mean, not really, but clearly my legs are not kicking nearly as hard, but it feels more similar than I realized. My main point of integration with this workout has been that my quads have been really sore, and so at first when I was having that, sitting up, sitting down, going down the stairs, I was like, wow, this feels really cool to have this soreness present with me. And then by the end of the night I was like, okay, this is getting really old. And it reminded me that, like, a lot of times when you're in alignment, you're always in between comfort and discomfort. And that kind of reminded me of what I said yesterday about if people want to run with the Mile Pace Tracks playlist at a time when the tracks are 6 minutes long, but they want to do 9-minute miles, they could do it as a stretch factor of 1.5. So I got to thinking, like, well, if you can just use an arbitrary stretch factor, then the tracks aren't really giving you the same motivational content that they would be if you had a specific externalized goal to strive for. And I realized that using a stretch factor of 1.5 is pretty similar to running kilometers instead of miles. So maybe it would make sense to just have those two as options, and that way people could toggle it down to kilometers if they wanted to go at a slower pace, and then if they wanted to go slightly faster, they could just find a different part of the schedule, like if it was 8 a.m. instead of 7 a.m. on a given day. Maybe that would be enough expressiveness to give people flexibility and also motivation. And if that's not enough, then maybe I can find some other way to go in between firm and flexible. The other advantage to doing that might be that it would give people a better intuitive sense for how long a kilometer is, which could be pretty useful information, I think, or useful sensibility. And the last thing I wanted to add is just that the music in this playlist has been really amazing, so I encourage you to check it out. All right, see you guys later, maybe again after my last mile.